class, we started talking about chapter 13 and posting for our payroll, and so we're going to build on that today. So our first section we're going to talk about is talking about the employer's payroll taxes. So both the employer and employee pay the FICA taxes, and so the employer's FICA is also going to be made up of the Social Security tax and Medicare tax, and that is from the same percentages that the employee has. So they also are going to have the federal and state unemployment taxes. So last class we talked about the federal and state income, but the employer they're required to pay the unemployment taxes, and this is going to be, in case that employee is unemployed, this is going to help cover their pay. So there's the federal unemployment tax, which is sometimes it's abbreviated FUTA, and then the state unemployment tax act, and then unemployment taxes are collected to provide funds for workers who are temporarily unemployed. So if you get laid off of a job so they cannot afford to keep you anymore, you will receive unemployment, so that way you still have some sort of income. So that is why we're paying into those now. So when we're finding our unemployment taxes, these are going to be based off of a percentage, and this will be given to you. So when we are looking at all that, the maximum federal percentage for unemployment is going to be 6.2% on the first $7,000. After that, we have also our state, and it is 5.4%. So what a lot of employers do is when a person is unemployed and they're getting that money, they're going to start with our state unemployment. And so if our total is if we have a total of 6.2% that can be taken on the first $7,000, and we start using our state, if we have 5.4%, a lot of employers end up paying just 0.8% for their federal, because it makes up the max amount that can be withheld. So the maximum withholdings is going to be the 6.2% on the first 7,000. So when we're looking at this, the employer's FICA taxes are Social Security tax and Medicare tax. Is that the same that the employee has? Yep. Yes, they're the same. So today we're going to talk about posting stuff like this. So we're going to want to remember that when we are looking for the unemployment taxes, that those percentages are going to be given to us. So when we're generalizing the employer's payroll taxes, this is what our entries are going to look like. So now our debit is going to be our payroll tax expense. And this is the expense account used to record the employer's payroll tax. So this is going to be our debit, and our credits are going to be our FICA taxes, which are the Social Security tax payable and the Medicare tax payable. And then also we're going to post our state unemployment taxes and our federal unemployment taxes. Can anyone tell me what the expense account we used yesterday was?
Salaries expense?
Salaries expense. Very good. When we were thinking about our salaries expense, where did the number come from? Where did our amount come from?
Our gross earnings.
Our gross earnings. Very good. So when we're finding our payroll tax expense, when we're posting this, we aren't going to know our amount right away. This is not going to be given to us. After we calculate what our Social Security tax payable is going to be, our Medicare tax payable, and then our unemployment taxes, we're going to add all those up, and those are going to be what our payroll tax expense is going to equal. Alright, so that's basically what 13.2 is covering. So when we're talking 13.3, we're going to be looking at our tax liability payments and tax reports. So, paying the payroll tax reports. So, we have our FICA taxes and our federal income taxes, and those are going to be all in one payment when we are paying for our payroll tax, because these are all going to the federal government. So it's going to have a payment that combines the Social Security and Medicare, which is our FICA, and also it's going to have the federal income tax that is going to be withheld. And this is due the 15th day of the pay month, so of the pay period. So it's always due then, and there are going to be two forms. So a lot of the smaller businesses are going to use the form 8109, and that's a federal tax deposit coupon, and it identifies the type of tax and the tax period. And then a lot of the larger companies use the electronic federal tax payment system, and it makes the deposits. And sometimes you see that abbreviated as well. So, preparing our payroll tax forms. So there are two types of forms that we have. We have the W-2 and W-3. So we talked about that when we get a job, we have to fill a form out. Does anyone remember what that form was? W-4. So we fill that out when we get the job. But every employee receives a W-2 then on January 31st. And this is going to summarize all of the employees' earnings and withholdings that they have for the whole year. And so it's going to have the gross earnings on there, your federal income tax withheld, your FICA taxes, and your state and local income taxes withheld. So these are the things that you're going to use when you want to file your taxes. This is the form that you're going to use, and it has all of your information for the calendar year. There's also a W-3. The W-3 is a transmittal of wage and tax statements, and it summarizes all the information on the W-2. And so the employer has to send this in, and it is due, they are both due February 28th. And these are so when people file their taxes that the government can make sure that all the amounts are accurate and correct. So they want to see the W-2 and W-3 forms so they know that the information that is being plugged in is accurate. So now I have up an image of a W-2. So this is what they're going to look like when you receive these from your employer. And I want us to kind of look at what we have here. So let's see. Would anyone like to be a volunteer to come up and highlight where our gross earnings might be on this? You think you know where our gross earnings might be?
No, I have no idea, but I'll guess.
Our gross earnings. So these are our total earnings before deductions.
I'll put this.
I would like that. Very good. So up there, your wages, tips, and other compensations are going to be your gross earnings. That's what you have there.
Wait, I'm right.
You are right. You're very good. Very good. Okay, now on here we have state income tax that is withheld. It tells us how much is withheld. Does someone want to go up and highlight where they think that might be? The state income tax that's withheld. Very good. Very good. All right, and I'm going to have someone come up and find the federal income tax withheld.
You already went. But I know which one it is.
Very good.
It's right with federal income tax.
Very good. Very good. So as we can see, it's going to tell us the state income tax. So really just look for those terms on your W-2. So, and that is going to tell you for the year what has been coming out. That way you know. All right. So here's the W-3. And what is the W-3? Tell us again. What is the W-3?
Our transmittal of wage and tax statements.
Yes, and where does the information come from? Where does the W? From the W-2. So this is going to have the same kind of information that our W-2 has, and this is what we're sending, the employer is going to send in. 13.2 says, for the week ending June 30th, EZ Copy Center's payroll has total gross earnings of $4,836.60. So I imagine that's something, that total you're going to want to know. So $4,836.60. So we need to calculate the employer's payroll taxes. Use the following percentages. So for our Social Security tax, what are we going to use? 0.062 or 6.2%. Okay, so that's our Social Security. So then we have our Medicare. And how much is that?
$299.87.
What's our percentage?
Isn't it 1.0145?
0.0145. Or 1.45%. Then we have our federal unemployment.
0.008.
So it's 0.8%, so 0.008. And then our state. And what is our state?
5.4%, so 0.054.
0.054. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to find our Social Security tax payable. So, do I have a volunteer who wants to write these answers on the board when alright, who hasn't gone yet? You have not gone on the board. Okay, so what we need to do, oh, you have some answers. So to find our Social Security tax, what says that we need to, it is 0.062 or 6.2%. So what do we do with that number?
We multiply that by that.
We need to multiply it by the total, correct? So we're going to take our 4836.6 and multiply that by the 0.062. And what do we come up with?
$299.67, right?
And 87.
And 87 cents. So that is how much money we're paying in for our Social Security tax payable. $299.87. So for our Medicare tax payable, we're going to do the same thing but use the Medicare tax percentage. So we're going to take that 0.0145 and multiply that by our total amount. What do we get there?
What's on my paper?
$70.13.
$70.13. So have we been doing stuff like this already before?
No.
Yes, we have. So now we have our federal unemployment tax. So this is going to be new. So our federal unemployment tax rate is the 0.8%. So is this number going to be large or small?
Small.
It's going to be smaller. So we're going to take our $4,836.60 and multiply that by that 0.008. And what do we come up with?
$38.69.
$38.69. Very good. All right, now we have our state unemployment tax. So our state unemployment tax is that 5.4%, and we're just going to multiply that out again. And what are we getting?
$261.18.
$261 and how much?
18 cents.
And 18 cents. Does everyone understand how we're finding our taxes payable?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
We're just going to use those percentages and multiply them. Remember to always move your decimal place. Thank you. All right. So now we're gonna work on 13.4. So now we're going to have to record our payroll liability. So 13.4 says the following account balances appear in the general ledger for Soapbox Laundry on April 30th. So it says that the Social Security tax payable is $318.55. The state income tax payable is $205.60. Our Medicare tax payable is $113.28. And our employees' federal income tax payable is $286. So when we're posting this, what should we do? So it says record the payment of the 4 liability accounts on page 34 of the general journal. And then it says, there's a hint that says 2 checks are written. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that we have our 34 up here. And then our date. So what date are we going to put?
April 30th.
April 30th, 2019. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to post our different liabilities that are coming out. So remember in our notes that we talked about 3 of the liabilities are going to our federal, and the other one is going to go to our state. So that's why we are having 2 separate checks being written. So if we are going to post our employees' federal income tax payable, is that going to be for our federal then, or our state? Are we paying this to the federal government or to just our state? The employees' federal. So we're going to put that over here. And is that going to be a debit or a credit? A debit. Very good. So over here you're going to put the employees' federal income tax payable. And then how much is that going to be for? What's our debit going to be?
286.
286.
286.
Very good. All right. So we also have our Social Security tax payable. Is that going to be something for the federal, or is that going to be a state?
Federal.
That's going to be a federal. So our Social Security tax and our Medicare tax, what do those 2 taxes make up? Our Social Security and Medicare. What else do we sometimes call those?
FICA taxes.
FICA taxes. So our FICA taxes and our federal income taxes are all paid in one payment. So always remember that. So we're going to go ahead and write our Social Security tax payable. And we're going to put the amount for that. So our Social Security tax payable is for what amount?
$318.55.
$318.55. So is this a debit or a credit?
Debit.
Debit. Okay. So what is another federal payment that we're making?
Medicare.
Our Medicare. So we're going to go ahead and put that down as well for this payment. So we have Medicare tax payable. And that is for $113.28. So we also, our last liability that we have is our state income tax payable. Are we going to post this at the same time?
No.
No, this is going to go for a different check. So what is our credit going to be? What to balance this out?
Our state taxes?
Is that going to catch anything?
Our credit is going to be our cash in bank. Because we are paying these. And so to find the total of that, how are we going to do that? What is our credit for cash in bank? How are we going to find our credit for our cash in bank?
Well, debits and credits have to be equal, so.
Very good. So we can add up all of our debits, and that should be what our cash in bank is going to be.
And
Do you?
$657.25.
$717.83.
$717.83. All right.
What was it, 700 and what?
$717.83. So, now we have one more liability to pay, correct? And what is our date going to be for that one?
30th as well.
So the 30th, very good. So, we have our 30th. And what is our credit going to be?
That's good.
What's our liability that we still need to pay?
State, oh, yeah.
Our
do the
state.
income tax.
Very good. So we have our state income tax payable.
Yep.
And how much is that for?
$205.60.
$205.60. All right, do we have any other debits?
No.
No? What's our credit going to be?
Cash and bank.
Cash and bank. And that's going to also be for that 205. So your description down here, or your 205.60. So this could be your check and then what check number it is. So, because they're two separate checks. So if this is check 304, this could be check 305. Does it make sense why we separated those payments?
No.
No, yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
So we separated these payments because these three payables, these are going to the federal. So you have your federal income taxes and then your FICA taxes. Those are going to the federal government. Our state income is just going to our state government.
Oh, okay.
So there's two separate checks that way. So this is our state government. So that's why these can all be together because they're going to the same place. So they can be on the same check.